the last second here, I found a pretty good article. Unregulated White House pharmacy gave out uppers and downers to senior staff under Trump.
I bet they still do that.
I'm going to say, like, this is not something that started with Trump or ended.
I just assumed that Congress had, like, little stashes on each of their desks in the Parliament building we use.
Our parliamentary system of the U.S.
Yeah, they just have those little candy jars full of uppers and downers.
Well, it says here, there's a quote from, I don't know who, but like just as like under the headline, it says, a lot of times they'd be in like 5 tablets in a Ziploc bag.
Just like I used to get them.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the White House has a pharmacy, but I just never knew that or thought about it.
Job perk. There's probably doctors on staff. Write your prescription whenever you want one.
Yeah. Dr. Feelgoods. In a damning new report, Defense Department Inspector General revealed, blah, 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 Trump, White House medical unit was not only incorrectly stocking and handing out amphetamines and opioids, but also doing so at the expense of the taxpayer. To the shock of no one, this problem was particularly bad between 2017 and 2019. Right smack dab in the middle of the Wild West of the Trump years.
I always call it the Wild West, but was it really any different than today?
The Wild West?
No, I mean 2017 to 2019.
No, not really. I don't think so.
Less war.
I was going to say, if anything, things feel more
more sickness. Everyone was down with the sickness, so to speak.
Right. I saw some fucking article that like made me feel like, I don't know, paranoid or just like afraid of life. It was like saying that like this like wasting disease that exists within like deer and like other kind of like forest animals.
Sure.
Could possibly spill over into the human population.
It's a long time coming, isn't it?
Yeah. Just thinking about the reality of how many things can kill you. Fun times.
Yeah. I try not to think about that too much. It leads me down a dark path.
I mean, I would argue that like most of life is spent avoiding thinking about that kind of shit.
But sometimes you have to think about it to avoid it.
I mean, that's in a way.
If you don't think about it, it could happen to you.
Like you have to like consciously avoid it. Like me, stopping mid-article and just not wanting to think about the wasting disease or mad cow disease. So it's like similar to mad cow disease, which always freaked me out. It just like eats your brain, basically. I think
I think a lot of my favorite hobbies have been eating my brains for years. And my liver.
Get all those vital organs.
Who needs them? I mean,
they're working too well.
Isn't there a god king Elon Musk going to give us the singularity soon?
Speaking of people unregulated pill popping, there was a pretty funny Onion like slideshow type article about Elon Musk going to Auschwitz.
Oh,
which is one of the stories on the docket here today.
I didn't realize he was old enough to be an Auschwitz survivor. Or Jewish enough.
Yeah, I mean that was the whole thing. He's trying to get X's numbers back up and ad revenue or whatever, and so he's going on this like Jewish apology tour because
I figure he's just researching tunnels for his tunnel project.
That was one of the jokes in the Onion thing, was like we should use my boring company technology to make the trains run more efficiently in Auschwitz. Yeah, he went with like Ben Shapiro. They went together. So fucking gross.
I hope they rode a tandem bike together while in Germany. And had that like theme song to the Mary Tyler Moore song show playing while they rode their tandem bike. Like, I have like an image in my head that in the opening of Mary Tyler Moore, she was riding a tandem bike with somebody, but I could completely be making this up because I haven't seen the opening of that show since the Wild West, really.
I don't think I've ever seen that show. I think the only thing I know about it is that she throws her hat in the air.
I think so. I am like a fucking
iconic image.
Grandpa, so I get a lot of things mixed up. I'm almost reaching that age where I could debate with presidents.
You're now qualified to debate for the presidential debate because you're prematurely senile.
Exactly. They should put me up there. I'll have interesting things to say. Maybe
I'd buy it.
Maybe people would like me. Just come in the street clothes, talk about shit.
I feel like
talk about policy. I talk about TV.
Grilling Biden on the details of the Mary Tyler Moore opening sequence.
I'm sure that Trump knows more about Mary Tyler Moore's show than me. I'm not sure if Biden does. He's probably a TV guy, though, right?
Biden?
Yeah. All old people are TV people. Uppers, downers, and TV. That's how I think of them.
I feel like Trump's TV obsession, though, is like
him being on TV.
Is all cable news, yeah. Like I can imagine he like doesn't have like the attention span for like fictional stories.
I think he probably just hires a team of people to make short clips of him and his TV appearances that he just watches on loops.
Wouldn't doubt it. There was that kind of famous story about how I think he said his favorite movie was Bloodsport, but that he would fast forward through
the movie.
He would just go to the fight sequences, which I get. I've actually never seen that movie.
I've definitely seen it a few times as a child.
I guess a lot of it is fighting, but like,
it is. It used to be.
He like couldn't handle like even the like a couple minutes of like exposition setup or whatever. Just fast forward through it.
He's like a shonen anime fanboy. Got it.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, battle animes. Just like Dragon Ball. You just skip into talking and fast forward into the fight, and it's going to take place over 20 episodes. 10 of those being like rah. I think Bloodsport used to always play on like TNT late at night. I'd watch a lot of it. That was that TV network.
That sounds about right. There's some funny story behind Bloodsport. There's some guy who's like probably just some like con artist, but like he claims that like Bloodsport is like based on reality, like his life of like going to these like underground fighting tournaments. But I guess I can't remember any of the other details about it. He's just like this kind of wacky guy who's probably lying. Yeah. I guess he was like an advisor or something on the movie. I can't remember. Why did I bring it up? I can't remember any of the funny details. What a great
grift.
My laptop keyboard is basically fucked up, and annoyingly, I can't get it to like disengage, so I can just use like a wireless one on top of it. But anyway,
I'm trying to abstain from typing because my keyboard is loud. It makes clickety clackety sounds that I find soothing.
Mechanical gaming keyboard.
That's right. Don't even play fucking games now. That's not true.
I was going to say, damn, what happened?
I just play games inside my head. Mind games. But not the type of mind games that, offend people. Just running simulations of tic-tac-toe through my head. That's about all I can do. Some people are like advanced enough to like play a game of chess in their head. No fucking way.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
Welcome to Heat Death of the Universe, a podcast that won the 1975 Kumite tournament and inspired masterpiece of cinema, Bloodsport, future, past and future President Donald Trump's favorite movie. It is, 12:13 p.m. here in Seoul, South Korea. Yes, the podcast was also featured in a 1980 copy of Black Belt Aficionado magazine. Timestamp Sunday afternoon, January 29th, year of our dearest Lord 2024. It's a special day in Heat Death news. Jason Newland's back. What's up, Jason?
I'm sleepy. I'm not that sleepy. I'm a little sleepy. I didn't sleep well last night. It was too hot in my house and too cold outside. What do you do in that situation?
You gotta find your inner Goldilocks.
I was full of rage because I lost my fight with the credit card company.
Oh, right. God, that sucks, man.
Christmas Eve, I landed in Atlanta airport, and I was going to drive to Tennessee with the rental car I reserved, and I got to the counter of the rental car. The nice clerk behind the counter said, "Oh, there's a 6-hour wait." And I said, "But I reserved a car for 11 a.m., and I've been flying forever, because it's a long-ass flight." And she said, "Well, tough shit." And then I said, "Well, okay, I'm going to go rent a car somewhere else," which is what I did. And then I tried to get a refund from the other one. And I did get a refund from the other one. But then I got a message yesterday that said, "Never mind, you were marked as a no-show." I'm like, I was there, but I didn't feel like I should have to wait 6 hours. And they
that's
said,
fucking bullshit.
Well, that's your fault for not waiting 6 hours. That technically made you a no-show, so you still have to pay. And I got a 13-page document from the credit card investigator that I had filed my complaint with, saying, basically, it's my fault for not being patient. But I feel like when you make a reservation, for a rental car that you're going to pick up after a 14 or 15-hour flight, and they tell you there's not going to be a car ready for 6 hours from the time you reserved it, that it's okay to say, never mind, but apparently it's not.
That's so weird, man. Yeah, there's I feel like there's some breakdown in the various transportation sectors lately, which I guess is actually something on the list here as well. Like flights have been kind of out of control lately, but yeah, maybe we'll get to that one later. I think I should also point out the fact that Tim is not here today on this episode. Listeners cannot see our Zoom chat and might be wondering why he's so quiet.
I know why Tim's not here. Tim had to go train in Heat Death Kai.
He's preparing for the next Kumite tournament. Well, a lot of tragedy in the world today. Bread and butter over here at Heat Death Industries. But nothing is more tragic, I would say, than the International Court of Justice pronouncing Pitchfork to be dead. I didn't even know. You alerted me to this. What's up, man? Is it an end of an era? Is that what we're seeing here?
Kind of. I mean, I feel like it's been dying for a while now. But, Condé Nast eventually decided to just kill off the thing, which you know, as someone who at one point of his life read a lot of Pitchfork and probably debated Pitchfork music criticism more than I should have, you know, because I wasn't completely sane at the time. I felt a little sad. It was like hearing that one of my old friends who I'd lost touch with died. Because, you know, it was fun to read their long, rambling reviews that kind of had like a history of music built into them, and then get to the score and be like, why the fuck did they give this band I like such a low score?
Yeah, I was a fairly regular reader and would, like, you know, rely on that website for I don't know, like finding new bands or whatever, or as much as like the kind of style of the reviews can be a little easy to poke fun at. Like, I don't know, it's probably the way I would write music reviews.
I had good taste for a long time. Obviously, people who cared about music writing for it, whether or not you agreed with them, you could tell that they cared about it.
Well, sometimes it was like people would like insert themselves into the reviews, you know, and like personal anecdotes and stuff, which is like, I don't know. Maybe it was kind of unusual at the time. I did go to the first festival that they did in Chicago.
Yeah, I guess that was pretty close to you.
Yeah,
at the time.
I thought it was going to be really cool.
It wasn't. I wanted to go. I never went to one, but I remember when they did the first one that I really wanted to go, but I was like broke at the time. I think that was during my plasma selling. I was just going to say, I think that was during my plasma selling days. And if you're in your...
It was during mine as well. I remember that. I think I remember like the tickets being really cheap though in the first one.
I think it was too, like $30
it was like
or something.
I feel like I paid like $10, but I could just be misremembering.
Yeah, I remember it not being that expensive either.
But basically what it was like, I don't like huge concerts. That's why I left early the first day before the sun even went down, and sold my ticket for the second day because I was just like, fuck festivals. And there weren't even that many bands that I was really interested in seeing anyway. Like, I remember, just have the memory of Broken Social Scene was playing, and I was watching them from like 200 feet away, and I was like, it would be better to just put on the record and listen to it with headphones. Like, this is stupid.
I really liked when I saw them, but I didn't see them at a festival. I saw them at a really small venue in Asheville.
Yeah, this was like, you know, no shade, just like getting like roasted in the sun, packed in with people. Like, if you wanted to be close, you know, you had to like
fight.
You had to sacrifice a bit, and I was not willing to do that.
Gotcha.
Pitchfork is actually not, and it's not actually dying. Maybe it would be better if it did just die, because what's happening to it is it's being folded into GQ magazine, because the like parent company that bought Pitchfork, I guess a few years ago or something.
Yeah, Condé Nast. I think that was almost a decade ago, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, so it's a weird mashup of sensibilities. GQ magazine and Pitchfork don't seem like they would mix very well.
So I guess I just wanted to pour one out for Pitchfork.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, it's something I think about occasionally with just like, there's kind of been like an end to criticism to some degree, which I've always like go back and forth on how I feel about that, as like streamings became more of a thing with either music or video, and people just have everything at their fingertips. Why not just consume it all, but not think about it? Which, part of me likes the ability to be able to consume everything, but then there's other times where I'm like, this is annoying. I kind of want to like have more time to let things breathe and think about it.
Yeah.
But I guess that's modern life, so to speak.
Yeah, it it is. And then you feel dumb about like bitching about having too much.
Yeah.
It's so, everything's so abundant. Oh, it's so hard to live. Yeah.
But it's like there's so much that nothing can be good, even though there is actually good stuff. But like, I don't know.
There's tons of great shit. I've just started making a list of movies because there seem to be so many. like I think the Sundance Film Festival just happened.
Yeah.
So there are a bunch of good sounding things coming out soon. Also, I'm gonna finally get around to checking out the Czech New Wave movement of movies. I hear it's cool.
I haven't heard much about it.
It's on the list. All right. Anyway, let's get back into whatever. I think we're done with Pitchfork, right?
Yeah. Now we can talk about how opioid overdose death rates in the United States have risen over the 3 decades, increasing by 2,142% in total from 1990 to 2020. Which was actually more of an increase than I expected, because I always associate the opioid thing being like a 2000 to 2010, 15 thing in my head. And I didn't realize it just kept increasing.
Yeah.
It makes me sad.
I mean, I was going to say there was, the heroin boom of the 90s, but like, I don't think heroin is being considered an opioid.
It is, or I think it was in the 90s, then, became more Oxycontin, Lortabs, and now I guess it's more like fentanyl.
Okay. I thought maybe the word opioid meant like synthetic.
No, I think it just means anything that's like...
opiate and opioid are like interchangeable, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm tackling the important part of the story, the linguistic angle. Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking massive bummer. There've been 2 more like Sackler dramatizations, like since you and I like.
Yeah, I saw like previews for one
a lot about that,
but I never got around to watching it. I didn't know there were 2. I can't even think of their names.
I watched both of them, and what's kind of funny about it is like, because we read that book, like I know the story so well of that family, and like,
yeah, we talked about it too for a long time.
When you're watching it dramatized, it's kind of like, oh, this whole cast of well, villains. I was gonna jokingly say, the characters we've come to love or whatever, but it's like, they get to that secretary, remember, who got hooked on Oxycontin while like researching how people were abusing it or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forget. I can't even think of what the names of either of them were. But I will say one of them is like way more sort of like serious and better than the other one. Matthew Broderick plays Richard Sackler in the less serious one that actually tries to be kind of like, it's still worth watching. It's entertaining, but it like
to try to take like a Succession spin on it or something.
Yeah, kind of, and like yeah, actually, totally, because the way the family interacts with each other is like cartoonishly like hateful and screaming and stuff.
Yeah,
but like and Matthew Broderick's portrayal of Richard is very goofy. It like, I don't know, it makes him look like more like an eccentric, and like he's like dancing around like the fucking office and shit. But like, the good more serious one, Richard Sackler's played by why can't I think of his name? Michael Stuhl. Is it Stuhlbarg or something? I love this actor. He's you've definitely seen him. Did you ever see A Serious Man, that Coen Brothers movie? He's the main guy in that.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's awesome.
He's very awesome in everything that I've seen him in, and he does an amazing portrayal of Richard Sackler as this like bottled up psychopath, basically.
That's more of how I picture him in my head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm kind of sick of movies and medias making billionaires out of to being eccentric misunderstoods who don't mean to hurt people as much as they do. They do. They mean to crush people under their foot to turn them into gold coins.
I mean, I totally agree. I wouldn't say that the Matthew Broderick thing goes that far. Like, he's still a villain, but it's just like this kind of, and they do this kind of like I feel like there's this like meta sort of narration going on in it, if I'm remembering right. It's almost trying to be like an Adam McKay kind of movie, like
Moneyball, not Moneyball. The
not
Big
Moneyball.
Short.
Big Short, yeah. It's kind of like having that tone, but about the Sackler saga,
Sure.
which doesn't give it the same
The gravity.
degree of, yeah.
I mean, I still liked the show. We watched a lot.
I was just gonna mention that when I rewatched it. Like I guess I went on a bit of a opioid movie and TV series, or these were all
Binge.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah. I rewatched that. Was it called? The title is actually kind of not good compared to how good the series actually is. It's called, like, I want to say Strung Out, but I know that's not right either. Dope Sick, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Dope Sick. That sounds right. It's been a while since. I'm real bad with titles to begin with. Actors' names, titles. They all get jumbled up in my
voices.
head. Things. That's why I think I'd be good on the presidential debate stand, because it seems like that's what they really look for in characters. It's just people who have troubles, connecting dots in their head.
That's what we're looking for.
That's what you need in a president.
In the head of state.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, that's a good transition if we want to move away from
sure
the horror of opiate.
Yeah,
crisis.
we've talked enough about that, I guess, in the past.
So, presidential debate topic reminds me of if you scroll down to the U.S. domestic politics part of our list of things here, I've got a screenshot of a Lex Friedman tweet.
Who's that?
Lex Friedman is like this. I was gonna say autistic. I don't know why I have to.
Everyone's fucking autistic now.
I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, you've probably accidentally like scrolled by like one of his videos on YouTube. He's incredibly popular. He gets like huge guests on. He's had like Bezos and Elon Musk on his podcast where he just does like 3-hour long like interviews with like.
Well, we never had Bezos on.
It's a good question.
He'd probably complain about our setup. Maybe he would see how bad it was and just be like, fuck, I'm just going to send some fucking shit to you.
I mean, this is all presuming we even get into sort of any contact with
what the
Jeff
hell
Bezos.
would I talk to Jeff Bezos about? I could think of stuff.
I'd actually want to talk about his visions of the future of a trillion people living in a cylinder floating in space.
He must play Warhammer.
Like
Plastic.
metal
pewter figurine. Yep,
Yeah,
that sounds right. I used to buy those and paint them. And now, I guess it's cool. And there was probably at that time in my life, 1,000,000 years ago, I thought, if nerd hobbies just somehow took over pop culture and was a cool thing and everyone is this nerdy shit, the world would probably be a better place. But now I think it's just made the world a worse place.
I think it's contributed to the jokerification.
Makes me sad. Where did we all go wrong? Maybe we all sort of just been obsessed with sports and jock things forever and just got with the program. Now everyone has to be fucking autistic.
Speaking of, so this Lex Friedman guy, who's like, I guess political bent is, I think he's one of those guys who's kind of like, I'm not left or right. You know,
like a Rand Paul droplet?
Well, Rand Paul is
Ron Paul. Like someone who's probably really into Ron Paul 20 years ago, or
he's probably just a libertarian and doesn't.
Yeah,
say
that's
it.
what
I don't know. I mean, I have actually watched like
a Joe Rogan type.
He's
like
had Joe Rogan on as a guest. He basically just kind of like sits there and listens and like will contribute a little bit. But anyway, he said this thing where he said, I hope to host a debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I think this could be done well in a way that explores the ideas and humanity of the candidates with depth, compassion, and humor in long-form conversation format. Probably many other people can be better moderators than me. Great. I just would love to see this done outside of mainstream media debate format. I mean,
I would too.
me
It's
too,
not gonna
but
fucking happen.
it's just so he's like delusional if you think it's even like remotely possible.
Like,
So that's why the subreddit I found this on actually, it's a subreddit I keep like seeing that I haven't joined, but I guess it's for a podcast called Decoding the Gurus, where they just like they take on like these kind of like Jordan Peterson, etc. types. But anyway, they just said, is he being serious about this Lex Friedman thing? Because it's so silly. And then another genius, Ted Cruz, he has an idea about not about the debate between Trump and Biden, but how we choose between them.
deathmatch. Cruz continued. Nick is echoing that they're doing it to fit. I suggest for this general election, let's do a cognitive test. Joe
Right.
Biden versus Donald Trump. The winner is president. I'm very happy to take those odds because Trump will whip Biden's ass.
Watch your language, Mr. Cruz.
I don't know if he would. I feel like Biden being the president will have the best tutors.
Doesn't it seem like politicians swear more? Like,
Oh
at
yeah,
all
hell yeah, they do.
these days.
I think it's because they've
when
all
did that
been.
happen?
Well, I think it's from the Vince McMahon culturification of the globe. I think 90s Monday Night Raw just like seeped into everyone's culture and everyone just became fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. They just, decided to go John fucking 316 on everyone's ass.
Like Trump said like called something bullshit during his speech the other day. I was like,
Was that the thing that made a curly boots guy drop out of the race?
curly boots guy. I don't know. I don't think so. I think he was actually talking about Nikki Haley. They're the ones.
Is Nikki Haley also a curly boots guy?
She's
Oh shit, I gendered her wrong. She probably doesn't appreciate that. I bet she doesn't even like to acknowledge that genders exist. I don't. My genders, by the way, in case anyone was wondering on the podcast, are boss and sir.
your pronouns are
Yes.
boss and sir.
That's also my genders.
Like the Lex Friedman idea, I would love to see this, even though it's coming from the mouth of a contemptible asshole like Ted Cruz. But I also have to agree with him that I think, as much as Trump is slipping up finally, senility wise, he's not quite at Biden's level.
I think
would
they have
say.
to do something more fair, like an ice cream eating contest.
That's totally stacked in Biden's favor.
Or just a schoolyard fight. They're about the same height, though, right? No, does one of them have like massive reach on the other? I don't fucking know how tall our presidents are.
I want to say Trump is just like, I mean, Biden's frail as well. I don't know their heights either. Like, speaking of their physiques, I've got something here. Donald Trump has lost a lot of weight by doing, quote, lots of sport.
That's amazing because I always thought Donald Trump said that doing sport killed
Any
you quicker.
exercise. Yeah, he did say that.
As in you use up part of your life energy. And
Right.
the way to like maintain your life energy is to sit still like a flower.
This article reminds us of the hilarious time when his like wacky Dr. Feelgood
I wish I had that doctor.
supposedly told Trump that he's, quote, the healthiest president that's ever lived.
Abe Lincoln wants words.
I don't know. They're saying he's dropped 30 pounds, eating healthier, hasn't been scarfing down ice cream sundaes or chocolate cake with 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream on it.
He's pulling the middle bun out of his Big Mac.
That's the key to all of this. I just dropped 30 pounds.
Just not eating the middle bun of the Big Mac.
I mean, I'm eating 6 more Big Macs than usual a day now. But
I open it up and I just throw the middle bun to the dogs.
I'm still reducing the carb load. And there's some speculation that maybe he's just using Ozempic.
Rain.
He does lots of sport, a source said. The last line of this article says, in response to he does lots of sport, a source said, it's true. He spent nearly a year of his presidency doing one sport in particular.
Golf?
Like, you got it. But see, I immediately thought they were making a water sports joke about the pee tape.
Oh, my brain doesn't go there.
There's a link to showing that he's played too much golf in his first year as president. So good on our slightly less big wet boy.
I used to know a minor pro golfer. She had like the biggest fucking forearms of anyone I've ever met for like her body proportion. It's crazy.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say she had the biggest tits I've ever seen.
No, just like crazy. I guess golf makes your forearms look fucking crazy if you're good at it.
Huh. It doesn't seem like you're really like wielding that much weight around, but I guess if you're doing it so repetitively, yeah.
Never got into the sport. I tried it, when I was made to do it in like high school PE class. Dad liked it, so maybe he tried to drag it out to me. I thought it was too fucking hard. It's really hard to hit the ball. The ball that's just sitting there on the ground. Then you're supposed to like make it go places. God, I fucking hate sports.
I got high and played mini golf on vacation.
That sounds fun.
That was pretty fun.
Mini golf's cool. That's different though.
It's very different, yeah. It's all about the ambience. And I was in Florida, so this mini golf place we went to, they had a
live gators.
Yeah, and you could feed them with these like kind of fishing pole type.
Could you
things.
eat them too?
No, I didn't have any gator nuggets. The idea kind of repulses me now because I think I've eaten them before, like when I was a kid. Gator.
It repulses you now more than it did as a kid? It's interesting.
Because I think of it as fishy chicken, which just as a concept sounds gross to me. I'm sure I would just try one if they were there, but
gotcha. I mean, I used to like frog legs, which are also just fishy chicken.
Yeah.
I get a little repulsed by my love of meat whenever I think about meat farming, but what can you do?
Me too. I've also noticed that I don't know, a sort of a sign of like having a mental slump for me is I get really I get really grossed out and sad about the concept of meat. Anyway,
just try not to think about it. Like it's
like we talked about earlier, we spend our lives avoiding thinking about dying.
It's too much burden.
Kind of similar thing with the holocausts, the daily holocaust that forms our meat products.
A friend of mine works for Monsanto, and he basically told me that I shouldn't eat anything, as in anything that's made by major food companies is killing us, and that you're kind of just fucked no matter what you do. And I said, yeah, you didn't really have to tell me that, man, but I kind of knew. Like, I already knew. It's always been there in my brain. Just, I push it down. And he's like, but no, seriously, anything that we grow is killing you.
Cool. Speaking of that,
Now, don't judge me for having friends who work for evil corporations. People just have to make money. It's like I would do it too. I in some ways, I'm sure the people I work for are not like a good organization. Not incredibly evil.
I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, if I just was like gifted an evil job that paid a lot of money, I would totally take it.
Of course.
I mean, I would like to think that
You'd be less evil.
I could take it, kind of take the money and run after a certain point, and then
just give you one of those,
and then go back to having my podcast where I
just give you one of those cushy remote work middle management jobs where your remote work is you watching everyone else have to come into the office and making sure they come into the office, and you're like, instead of being there, you just come over to the intercom occasionally, be like, Jane, I see that you're decided to work from home today. As you know, that's a 25% pay cut for the day. And if they ever complain about you working from home, you're just like, I'm ever present. I see all.
I wonder where, if at all, I would draw the line, if I'm being totally honest with myself. I was just thinking, like, I wouldn't want to work for the Israeli government. But
yeah, me either.
Anyway, Americans suffering, in quotes, at rate rarely reached.
How are they suffering?
This is just more about like polls and how like they don't really get into like the specifics of the suffering, I don't think. Let's see here. Also, sometimes, I mean, I guess I just don't know anything really about statistics, but like a survey of a little over 6,000 people to me doesn't seem representative of 330 million people.
Yeah, but that's a bigger survey than I sometimes expect.
No, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes these surveys that people like take
be like 100
really
people,
seriously.
And you're like, that's fucking nothing. I'm cursing a lot today. Sorry, I'm supposed to keep the podcast PC for all the kids that listen. It's okay to let your kids listen to our fully educational podcast.
Yeah, it fucking is.
Just cover their ears whenever you think me or Josh are going to curse.
Shit!
Because we're not going to bleep stuff.
I'm just going to throw in random ones you can't see coming.
And just, remember, anything you think your kids are being protected from, if they go to public school, they're getting it all on the playground. And more.
Unless you, like, lock them into a cage.
Which is not a bad style of parenting, contrary to popular belief. I'm fine.
Jason Doolan's new self-help parenting book, The Cage Method. It's tried and true.
How to raise your kid to
thrive in small spaces.
Yeah, I think that prepares you for the real world. Space is getting smaller. But it's going to get larger as birth rates decline.
Oh, God, how depressing. I just, instead of like an actual cage, it's like a parent that like builds like a cubicle and like an office style setup in their house or in just the kid's room. And
well, they just do that for
better get used to this now.
They just do that for the first few years, but then they start having more kids and adopting and let all of them have their little cubicle rooms. And then one day without warning, they take all the cubicles down a bit. No, now you have a fucking open office life.
Aren't you grateful? Come on, this is fun.
You can watch each other work.
We've got table tennis. We're practically like the Google main office. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. This article is kind of just a poof of whatever.
I feel like I'm suffering because I'm always broke, and I've almost been pilled hard enough to believe that it's my fucking fault. It probably is my fault. I think a lot of Americans feel the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's the whole Protestant fucking whatever work ethic guilt complex, like in the DNA of the U.S. that makes things great.
I guess.
Jesus. I just thought about how we, of course, maxed out again the another record-shattering year of mass shootings in 2023.
Going strong.
That was a perennial topic
Gotta be best.
between us.
Gotta be the best at something, and God, we are the best at that.
I think that if there's anything sort of more relevant about this study, it's that more people are saying they're suffering now than people were saying even during the Great Recession or during the beginning of COVID, like when things were like at their worst or whatever with COVID wise.
I know I had read that like America's at like the highest levels of homelessness like ever.
Yep, that's also true. Just shattering records left and right. And
houses are 30 to 1. There's 30 houses for every one person in America.
Yeah, what goes hand in hand with the homelessness is that this article I also have here that housing is now unaffordable for a record half of all U.S. renters.
Maybe it was a bad idea to let hedge funds buy up all the properties and turn them into Airbnbs.
Yeah, but freedom, Jason.
That's
freedom.
True. Corporations are people. I forget sometimes.
The free market has spoken. I have all this Epstein news here, which is like kind of old news already.
Yeah, sure. Stephen Hawkins went to the island. Whatever.
Yeah, we did. We touched on that the other day, but I will say just one little nugget about it.
Was my name on the list?
The only person whose name was on the list more than you was Alan Dershowitz, whose name showed up over 100 times in these documents.
Yeah, I remember meeting him a few times. Island was a good place to go and read and relax.
It's so funny how, like, you know, all the other people like on the flight logs, like, just basically don't comment on it for the most part, I feel like. But Dershowitz is always like giving interviews where he's just like, he's so brazen, and it's like, I don't know, there's a huge amount of evidence about him being up to no good, let's say, Little St. James. But foregoing the Dershowitz debacle, everyone's favorite former prince or something, he's like been demoted somehow. I think he's still called a prince though.
Yeah, he like gave it up, right? When he got married.
He's also a duke. No, because of the Epstein allegations.
Oh, okay, my bad. Was it the other prince that got married?
You mean Harry?
Oh, yeah.
And like, well, I mean,
I thought the one that married the American got outcast for marrying an American or some bullshit.
No, it was more like they're racist towards his wife.
Oh.
And so he was like, fuck you guys, and they moved to the U.S. I think that's basically the story.
That's more upstanding than you would expect from a prince.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be the best member of anyone who voluntarily leaves the royal family. But, you know, on the other hand, it's like, how risky was that really for him? I mean, he's still got all the money in the world, I'm assuming, but I don't know. Anyway, Prince Andrew, though, one of the revelations in this Epstein document dump was that his puppet fetish was revealed.
That explains why he's always a producer on Jim Henson movies. He's not a producer on Jim Henson movies.
Sorry, it took me a second.
Sorry, that's fucking false news.
He allegedly posed with a puppet of himself grabbing the breast of accuser Virginia. I forget how to say her name. It's spelled strangely, but she was one of the first kind of people to
that's nothing. Who doesn't have a puppet of themselves that they use to touch their women? Don't you do that?
So it's actually two accusers. Yes, of course I do. We all do.
Oh, I was worried you didn't have a puppet of yourself. I was going to make you one.
It's literally the only way to get off.
I'm still trying to find my way to get off. I'll discover it sometime. Everyone has something that works, I guess.
Part of this testimony from another accuser, Johanna Sjoberg, S-J-O-Berg, said, at one point, Ghislaine told me to come upstairs, and we went into a closet and pulled out the puppet, the caricature of Prince Andrew, and brought it down. And there was a little tag on the puppet that said Prince Andrew. And that's when I knew who he was. She continued, it looked like him, and she brought it down and presented it to him. And that was a great joke, because apparently it was a production from a show on BBC. And they decided to take a picture with it, in which Virginia and Andrew sat on a couch. They put the puppet on Virginia's lap, and I sat on Andrew's lap. And they put the puppet hand on Virginia's breast, and Andrew put his hand on my breast, and they took a photo. Smart. Document this. Anyway, I don't know. It's like, considering all the shit that these fucking monsters do, the puppet thing is almost quaint by comparison. But just thought it needed to be stated for posterity that Prince Andrew is a puppet fucker. A perfect thing to go along with record amounts of suffering and inability to afford housing and so on, is that some retiring member of the House, a Republican, is complaining that $174,000 salary isn't enough money to be a member of Congress. And he says, quote, most of us don't have wealth. And this is a kind of thing that makes me want to add to the pile of firearms-based murders. Find this motherfucker. I mean, how fucking disconnected from reality do you have to be to see?
I mean, I
like
follow
this?
some like random stuff on the internet, and I know there's whole communities of people who think $100,000 a year is poverty. It's not, but I can understand it feeling that way, I guess. I don't think anyone has enough. Like, New York's expensive.
I think plenty of people have enough, but
yeah.
I don't know. Just fuck these people. I'm not the first person to think of this as an idea, but like the way to get like these fucking legislators to like not be corrupt pieces of shit and do things well would be to actually reduce this salary and put like, severe term limits. Like maybe even just like one term, because if you're trying to get reelected, then that's all they do. Their whole job is just.
I mean, I almost think that like it would just be better at this point. I've thought this before. If the House, instead of being an election thing, was just jury duty, like people were just selected. It's like you're serving in the House this time.
That sounds like some wild, evil, communistic shit. No, I mean something like that would almost anything would be better than what's going on right now. I guess
because I think the problem is like there's just no real people doing it. It's monsters.
I mean, I agree. I think also that I think the job changes people maybe as well.
Yeah, sure.
It has to. I mean, I think like. I know I maybe beat up on her too much, but AOC is kind of a perfect example that comes to mind right away, where it's like government, these government jobs is like where ideals go to die or something.
Yep.
But yeah, so the asshole that said this I'd never heard of before, he's named Patrick McHenry. So be sure to hate this asshole. All right.
I mean, I have seen people online make the argument that if we just paid Congress like hedge fund managers are paid, they would do a better job. The problem is they're not paid enough. So you don't get the smartest people in there.
People are so fucking dumb.
Yep.
All right. That was domestic news. I know we shouldn't go too much longer. But,
let's try to stop in 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes.
That's cool. that sounds fine. We've got some AI stories here, which I would say resident AI expert Jason Newland's here.
I feel like I'm less of an AI expert suddenly, but
what I mean by that is you know more about AI than I do.
It's possible.
Which is not really saying a lot, I guess, either. But let's see. We've got... This one is just kind of funny, I guess. Amazon is selling products with AI-generated names like, quote, "I cannot fulfill this request. It goes against OpenAI use policy."
What is that product, I wonder?
It's a fucking... if you click on the link, you can see... it actually looks funnier to see that ridiculous name like in the context of like the Amazon website.
Oh, it's a dresser, obviously.
Yeah, a dresser.
That makes sense. People are using ChatGPT or whatever, Bard, to fill out every form these days. So it's good for...
The product's full name is, "I'm sorry, but I cannot fulfill this request. It goes against OpenAI use policy. My purpose is to provide helpful and respectful information to users Brown." The one word, the very last word has something to do with the product, kind of. Anyway, that's just a goofy thing, but then the article goes into like also other things about like bot reviews and like I don't know, just how like Amazon is like a fucking shit show, or the Wild West, as we've been invoking today. It raises the question: is anyone at Amazon actually reviewing products that appear on its site?
Well, they have a content filter that's supposed to do that.
Yeah,
I think there's a whole grift where you just like buy a ton of stuff from AliExpress and then resell it on Amazon, or you repost it to Amazon. That whole drop shifting grift. I don't really know how any of that works, but I definitely seen random videos about this is my side hustle, and you just pipe everything through AI and have like products from AliExpress in China resold on Amazon, and somehow you end up making money. And it all seemed overly complicated and like a scam.
Apparently, it's like a big a Gen Z thing to like basically scam Amazon to like as a side hustle.
Maybe
because something to do with like the return policies being so like kind of open ended makes it easy to scam. I read something the other day too, which I don't have marked down anywhere here, but like it was something called like bin stores that are just like, it's like returned Amazon products that like at least at like certain times and certain days get like marked down to like an insane degree. Like you're paying like 25 cents for something that would like normally cost like, $50 or whatever. But I don't know. I didn't look into it that much.
Oh, wow.
There are a couple other of these like AI generated descriptions of products, but basically the same thing. Okay, moving on. I don't know. It's just more shit about fucking.
There's gas station heroin.
You want to talk about that?
What is it?
Back to the opiates. Let's find out, or let's refresh my memory.
Stablon? I didn't see this while I was in America. Blah, 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 blah.
Please don't take this gas station heroin, even though it's technically legal. This stuff is bad. Seriously.
Is this like Phenibut or something?
No, I mean, apparently it's just Phenibut
is an opioid that's sold over the counter. That's why I said that.
Is Phenibut an opioid?
Yeah, it is. That's why it has the
I thought it was like a benzo style substance.
Oh, you're actually right. Sorry,
yeah,
my brain was confused. You're correct. Benzos are also addictive. I was going to say the reason Phenibut has that warning label is all like, don't take this every day. It's because it's you're right. It's a benzo. My bad.
No problem. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just another synthetic opioid like that, hasn't been reviewed yet. So I don't know, but so it can. I don't know. They're trying to make it illegal. Those clowns in Washington that vaping, groping, Beetlejuice, the musical watching Lauren Boebert is I don't know, talking about this issue, or she was at some point.
Speaking of like research chemicals, which I guess this gas station heroin is kind of like research chemicals. I did see like one of the more interesting things with AI is like they had used like this AI they had trained on all like pharmaceutical data to like create something like 200 new hallucinogens. And I just realized that my dream job would be the guy that gets to test all the new hallucinogens created by the pill making bot. Like I just want to get hired on and be like, okay, give me the next one. I'm ready to fly again.
Human test tube.
What happens if I take all 200?
When you take all 200,
You achieve enlightenment.
You may become the first person to ever beat Tetris.
That happened. 9-year-old boy. Pretty incredible.
I got 13 written here, but
Well,
anyway.
I have 13-year-old, 9-year-old, basically the same. I knew it was a kid. I wasn't sure the age. 9 just seemed like a good number to say.
The way it's written is the first human to ever reach. Oh, I mean, I guess maybe.
Well, no, because they had made programs that could beat Tetris, and I mean, beating Tetris, what you have to like basically get it to buffer overflow. Like to beat Tetris, you play until the game just crashes. There's no actual endpoint, but no human was ever able to get there. Like I think before this, sorry, I'm speaking without looking at the article. I just know a bit about this because I was interested in it. I think humans really couldn't get past like level 99 for a long time because the screen would become like the last level color would basically become like this blood red where you couldn't see anything. It was moving too fast for like for human reflexes to even do anything. But the way the kid ended up beating it is they came out with this in arcade games, they had this thing called knuckle rolling, which you can only press buttons so fast, but like on an arcade cabinet, they found with some games that to be even faster, you could roll your knuckles over the buttons, which is a bit quicker. So, which you can't really do with a Nintendo controller, and they're specifically talking about like 8-bit Nintendo, beating 8-bit Nintendo Tetris, because that's where the buffer overflow is. They came up with their own version of knuckle rolling, where
hyper tapping, it's described as.
Yeah, but you're doing you're rolling the knuckles on the back of the controller to simulate the tapping. It's interesting, I guess. Maybe everyone is autistic.
This kid is probably. He goes by the name Blue. I'm gonna say Scutty.
I think it's
Scooty. SCUTI.
Interesting that no one had ever done it, but then like after he did it, I think like 3 more people did it in the same week.
Oh, okay.
I think that seems to happen a lot in like, humans achieve something, then like multiple do it just around the same time. I think there's a name for that phenomenon.
Right. So there's right before he like finished this thing, we made the whole thing crash, right? It says, all right. So he posted a video of this, but he says, as he nears the feet, Blue Scuddy says, "Oh, I missed it." After misplacing a block, he recovers, then says, "Oh my God," as it seems like he'll be able to do it. "Please crash," he says, as the blocks careen down the screen, possibly fast. He gets another line and the game freezes. "Oh my God, yes, I'm going to pass out. I can't feel my hands."
Awesome. Fucking human achievement. Beautiful thing.
This nice news totally negates all the fucking horrible shit.
I haven't looked into the competitive Tetris scene much, but I used to be really into Super Mario Brothers speedruns, which is a very similar thing. And
Yeah.
there's a whole rabbit hole there of, I guess, human accomplishment on a 40-year-old game.
Yeah, you. I think you were the one telling me about speed run subculture or something before, and it was like it sounded. Some of the shit just sounded impossible to me. Like, I think you told me about someone like beating like Mario 3 on the original Nintendo in like, I don't know, some insanely short amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's like 8 minutes or something. I don't remember the exact times. The records are all crazy. Now I'm curious.
All right. Tetris. A Chinese chess champion, say that 10 times fast. Chinese chess champion stripped of title after being accused of cheating.
I have to let you know.
Pooping in a hotel bathroom.
The
bathtub.
I have to go back. The current speedrun record for Mario 3 is 4 minutes and 54 seconds.
I was going to say, I thought it was even less than 8 minutes. Yeah. That's wild.
That's wild.
I mean, obviously, you got to be using those warp whistles.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like some of those things, like, they, like, find, like, weird glitches to, like...
They do. Weird wall glitches, or you'll, like, hop a few times to, like, get this, like, game assist to make this game kind of, like, bug out in certain ways. And I know that for speedrun competitions, they'll go back and forth on, like, they're either doing a non-glitch speedrun or maybe one where you do use glitches. I think the big rule is usually try not to do, like, machine assisted, but they also will have, like, machine assisted runs. People are bored. They have to entertain themselves somehow.
You gotta avoid thoughts of doom.
And died.
I don't know why I chuckled like that. Death. All right, here's another feel-good story. I got a few of them in here. Gene therapy administered via virus cures deafness in 11-year-old boy. Quote, this is honestly like a heartwarming sentiment here. Quote, there's no sound I don't like. That's someone really appreciating things taken for granted. They're all good. All sounds are good. I mean,
yeah, imagine if you were like, if he was like completely deaf and suddenly hears, that has to be like crazy.
Yeah. This is a weird story that I've had like on these lists for, I feel like months now and just never got around to. So let's just knock it out. A mountain of used clothes appeared in Chile's desert. Then it went up in flames. Weird.
Dropped from an airplane?
Let's find out. I don't think so.
Oh.
Perfect example of when I should actually read the fucking article first. This is why we have editing. What is this? Are you looking at this article? I'm like trying to get a handle on it by like scrolling through, but like because of the dry conditions, the desert like conditions, the synthetic petroleum derived fibers in modern clothes it meant the pile never shrank. Instead, it started to, as they say here, metastasize.
There's going to be a mark where I hit my mic stand with a Coke bottle at some point in the recording.
No worries, I didn't even hear it. Yeah, maybe there's a reason. Why is this article so long?
I know. I sort of look at it. It's like I can't read all this.
Holy fuck!
I just don't care enough about clothes.
Yeah. Well, let's just call that a headline and done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's odd news.
So, do you want to move to recommendations soon? I think I should.
Yeah.
If it's all right.
Yeah. Totally.
Do you still recommend things? I could recommend things.
Yeah, I do.
I didn't know if you'd become so disillusioned with the world at all. Nothing was good. Sometimes I feel that way. Like when I'm thinking about what I want to eat, and then I just realize I hate all food, but I also just want to eat something because mindless consumption is about the only way to feel a little bit of joy.
It's a good note to go out on.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's just wrap it up.
How to say you're depressed without saying you're depressed.
Yeah. Well, plenty of leftovers for upcoming episodes here. You want to go first? You got some generalized recommendations or one?
Let's see. Yeah, I've got a couple of things I like. I actually pretty sure I recommended it on the podcast before, but TV shows. I really enjoyed the newest season of Slow Horses, which is the Apple TV spy drama I like a lot, starring Gary Oldman. It's really good.
I've heard about it, yeah.
I think you'd like it.
And I can confidently say I don't think you recommended it before. I'm pretty sure.
That's cool. Well,
I only know this shit because I listen to the episodes and type the recommendations.
The K-drama I've been liking a lot right now, which I think's wrapping up. It's only going to be 8 episodes, is A Shop for Killers, which I think's really good. Highly recommend if you like action, violence, and, that type of stuff. About a girl who was raised by her uncle who was former special forces and maybe leader of a gang who dies, and then apparently people decide they want to kill her, but that's when all the weird, unusual training her uncle put her through as a child comes into play. It's fun.
That's
show.
Cool. That sort of reminds me of a movie I talked about last week, Hannah. Did you ever see Hannah?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters like a long time ago. I never watched the show. I know they made a show of it. But
oh, they did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I never watched it. I think it got okay reviews. People like it was reviewed well for that genre show. Like, it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything, but if you're like that type of action show, I think it's supposed to be good. But yeah, I never got around to watching it.
I like that actress with the weird Irish name that I just talked about this like last week. Saoirse, I think is how you say it.
Yeah, she's cool. I don't know much about her, but I know who you're talking about.
Did you hear about this movie? Like the trailer, I think, just dropped. Monkey Man.
No.
It's this very silly name, but it looks fucking awesome. It's like at first I was like, oh man, more fucking like John Wick shit, right? Because like it's just. There's just so many kind of like knockoffs on like
sure
trying to do John Wick style revenge plot movies, but it looks like unique enough, but still kind of within the revenge stylized genre. But like just some of the fight choreography and it just in the trailer was like incredible. There's one part where the protagonist, it's Dev Patel, and it's like I think it's all set in India. So I don't know. People are saying it's like the Indian John Wick or whatever. It's always like
nice.
the something or another John Wick. But he wears like this monkey mask, hence the name, which is like based on like a Hindu monkey god that I do not know the name of off the top of my head. But
sure.
Anyway, there's this one part that I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna see this movie. He's just like fighting people in a kitchen, and he slams a guy's head down on like the burner, and then throws like alcohol on it, and the guy's fucking head goes up in flames.
Oh jeez.
And it's all done in like a split second. It looks like a fun, violent revenge movie that's coming out pretty soon, I think.
Like those. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, check out the Red Band trailer. I will recommend the visual arts as well. I've watched a bunch of stuff lately. I watched like some of these movies that like everyone says you have to watch, and they just kind of passed through me without like any real feeling. Like I watched Saltburn, and then I forgot that I watched Saltburn. And anyway, so instead I'll recommend.
That's like an anti-recommendation.
Kind of is. I mean, I didn't dislike it. It's just like it felt almost. It's like all everyone was talking about was like the scene where the dude fucking drinks up the fucking jizz bath water. It's like, okay, I saw that. Anyway, I mean, it was fine, but I'm not recommending Saltburn though. I'm recommending a double feature, and now one of these movies I think I have recommended before, and whatever. Last night I watched the Nice Guys, the Shane Black movie with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling and
okay.
bunch of other really good actors as well, but they're like the main. They're the nice guys. It's just like it's like Shane Black's kind of formula since like Lethal Weapon of like kind of buddy cop, except they're not cops. One is just like a guy who like threatens people and beats people up for money, which is like bloated Russell Crowe, and that Ryan Gosling is like a private detective who's like, I don't know, hilariously kind of bumbling sometimes. Like it's just very funny movie.
I never watched this, but I remember when it came out. I meant to watch it and never got around to it, which happens with a lot of movies.
It's real good. I've seen it a number of times. Like, so I was hanging out with Haywan last night, and I was like giving like options of movies we could watch, and like we were settled on something, and then I was like, oh hey, how many times have we watched Nice Guys? That's on Netflix right now. She's like, immediately, she's like, that's what we're watching. You know, we've seen it like probably, I don't know, at least 3 or 4 times.
She's also a rewatcher.
She's a huge rewatcher. She's watched Mad Max Fury Road like probably 50 times.
I guess she's excited for Furiosa.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, me too.
Anya Taylor-Joy. I didn't even realize she was in it until I saw the trailer. I was like, "Fuck yes!"
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really liked her the fucking cooking movie, the chef movie that she was in, the horror one. I can't.
The menu.
The menu. It was good.
I fucking loved that.
It was really good.
I rewatched the shit out of that.
I think
movie.
I watched that one twice. I don't watch movies twice.
I may
didn't
have
need to
watched
watch
it
it twice, but I liked it a lot.
I may have watched it 4 or 5 times. Part of it was like showing people who hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
But
if I had a social life, I would do that, baby.
Where was I? Nice Guys. Great movie. Shane Black, excellent screenwriter, has turned out to be a very good director, with the exception of the Predator movie he made, which was shockingly not good.
Iron Man 3.
I like Iron Man 3.
I fucking hate the portrayal of Chattanooga.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it might sound like being contrarian or something, but like out of all the fucking Marvel movies, like that's probably one of the best ones, in my opinion. But anyway, just because it's just
fine.
I mean, it managed to like escape the formula in a way that none of the other movies I think have. That's kind of all I mean by it. But I also just like Shane Black's like writing and sensibility and like
I do too.
Dark sense of humor and all that shit. So I recommend watching Nice Guys, and great movie, which I know you like, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So
One of the best movies of all time.
Well, you have to watch Nice Guys, man. It's basically Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, just like
in the 70s.
Maybe better.
Okay. I'll watch it then.
Possibly
that's enough to watch it.
Like refined, like an even more refined version of that. But anyway, both movies are awesome. They're both very funny. I was in need of some like kind of cheering up for whatever reason, and watching those 2 movies last night, it was fun, and recommend it.
Okay.
Any plugs?
No.
I'll plug.
Heat Death is a cool podcast.
Oh, shucks. I will plug the website that you made for the podcast, which is
it still works.
heatdeathpod.com. And please check the show notes, join the Discord.
Say hello.
Participate in the Discord even would be cool.
That doesn't happen much, does it?
Nope.
It could, though. It could happen more.
One of these days. Yeah. Show notes, Discord, Twitter, all that shit.
It's not Twitter, it's X.
X. Oh man, we didn't get into the fucking Auschwitz thing. I mean, I guess we kind of talked about it in the beginning.
Just a little.
The Elon Musk thing, but like he was being interviewed, I don't know, like as part of his like Jewish apology tour or whatever, and anytime someone said tweet, he would correct them and say X platform post. What a fucking douchebag.
That's awful. And 100% believable.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Nice hanging out again in the
Yeah.
podcast world.
We can do it again sometime. Theoretically.
Yeah, like I mentioned, 200th episode milestone coming up in a little bit. You should at least come back for that.
Yeah, that should be fun.
All right. See you later, folks.
Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. See you, Jason.
Stepping a stone in, I'm all gone. Give me the tone in, I'm all gone. Yeah, I'm walking by the line. Not here, but in my mind. I'm working a sweat, but it's all good. I'm breaking my back, but it's all good. 'Cause I know I'll get it back. Yeah, I know your hands will clap. I'm working, yeah, I'm working to make butter for my piece of bun. And if you say I'm not okay, then I'll still go. If you say there ain't no way that I could know. If you say I aim too high from down below. Well, say you're not, 'cause when I'm gone, you'll be calling, but I won't be at the phone. And I'm hanging around till it's all done. You can't keep me back once I had some. No wasting time to get it right. And you will see what I'm about. Look, I'm working, I sweat, but it's all good. I'm breaking my back, but it's all good. 'Cause I know I'll get it back. Yeah, I know your hands will clap. And if you say I'm not okay, then I'll still go. If you say there ain't no way that I could know. If you say I aim too high from down below. Well, say you're not, 'cause when I'm gone, you'll be calling, but I won't be at the phone.
Peeking over shoulders, waiting for my time to come.
And if you say I'm not okay, we might still go. If you say there ain't no way that I could know. If you say I aim too high from down below. Well, say you're not, 'cause when I'm gone, you'll be calling, but I won't be. If you say I'm not okay, we might still go. If you say there ain't no way that I could know, I won't be. If you say I aim too high from down below. Well, say you're not, 'cause when I'm gone, you'll be calling, but I won't be at the phone.
The first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?